Greetings and welcome to the final episode of this F1 25 single player career mode. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you are all excited for this episode. I can tell you I definitely am, and no other place to finish off the Formula One season in the modern era other than the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, driving from the sunset into the night and finishing off the season with some beautiful fireworks. And speaking of fireworks, we have had quite the season here at Haas. At the moment we are sitting in 7th in the Drivers' Championship, just a few points ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. And hopefully we can do everything in our power here today to try and stay in front of the Red Bull driver. But more importantly, in the Constructors' Championship, we are still in a very close battle with Williams over 5th place. And we have had two really good results back to back. And hopefully we can make it 3 in a row. Spoilers, if you haven't seen any of the previous episodes, I would highly suggest you go and do that. But we have gone back to back on the podium, getting 2 second place finishes in a row at Vegas and Qatar, and that sets us up beautifully for the final showdown here in Abu Dhabi. And obviously, let's just jump back to the championship. As you can see there at the top, it is also really close between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. It's only 6 points between them in Lando's favor. So everything is still to play for in the Drivers' Championship. The Constructors' Championship have been won by McLaren, so there's nothing anyone can do there. But we have quite the race going into the last episode here. So we are hoping for an absolutely cracking race, but before we can get into that, we have to finish off the final qualifying session of the season. So let's just jump straight into things here in Abu Dhabi. And here we go.
Welcome to qualifying. It is time to have some laps at the limit in Abu Dhabi.
And under the floodlights, we will be deciding who gets pole position and where we will start this race. And hopefully, our teammate, who's been on a good string of form, 2 back-to-back points finish for him as well. I hope that he will be doing well here as well, to help us, of course, keep 5th place in the Constructors' Championship. But here we are ready for qualifying. I am just going to wait it out a little bit, let other drivers get out on track and have a go first, and then we can go afterwards. But as I said, I hope you are all doing well, and I hope you are all excited.
Clear the garage, please. Cars ready to leave.
Not just to finish this series off, but to lead into the new series on the 26 DLC. I am definitely looking forward to it. I can say, I'm not going to spoil which team, but I can say I have come to the conclusion of which team to drive for when we eventually get that series underway. And I can say as much, it's not going to be Haas. We're not staying with Haas. So we're driving for a new team. That's all I'm going to say.
We've dropped to P20.
And that means this is our last race for the American outfit. So we need to have a good one to end things on here in Abu Dhabi. Our teammate at the moment in 16th. And quite disappointing, unfortunately, so far. And once we leave Haas, it'll be interesting to see what he can do now that he most likely will become the leader of the team. And obviously Esteban Ocon coming back into Formula One. heading into the new regulations. So they have opted for a more experienced driver over someone new. So that is interesting. So we'll see how they do, and then we'll see how we get on at our new team. But before things can come that far, we have to get qualifying done here. So let's get things underway. Here at the start-finish straight, across the line, and into turn 1, very heavy braking zone. You take a lot of curb here, and then you need to be aggressive through these corners here. 2 and 3, they are flat out in the modern Formula 1 cars, and then you have the hairpin here. You need to cut it just right to get the best angle going out onto this very long back straight, heading into the first chicane that splits the 2 DRS zones here at Abu Dhabi. Heavy braking zone, as I said, into the chicane, taking a lot of curb there. Careful under traction, and that was good. And now it's the pull up towards the reworked final sector. For those who remember, they will know that this didn't used to look like this back when I got into Formula 1. This was not how the final sector looked like. Going off the first or the second of the 2 straights. This has not changed that much. And we are rounding the final 2 corners here. Taking a lot of curb, not really hitting the apexes. But there we go, across the line, and we are fastest.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
So we seem to have the pace to be fighting right at the front, much like we have seen in the previous 2 races. And I mean, if there was any way to end a season with Haas and end our partnership,
Okay, we've only
it
got
would certainly
one
be a
lap of fuel
victory.
remaining.
Certainly a victory would be the right way to go out. We already have 1 win to our name back in Monaco. That was early on in the season. That felt like we did everything in qualifying and then just held up the rest of the grid throughout the entire race, although saying that we were quite fast. But here it just seems like we genuinely do have the pace. So what a way to end things if that is what it comes to. That would be lovely. But we are heading back into the pits. No problems as per usual progressing from Q1. It's never really been a problem. And there we go. Nice and easy. Into the pits we go. And no special livery and no special helmet here today. I didn't really feel like it, honestly. So I'll just let the results do the talking. And hopefully that is going to be good enough to end the season. But I'm pretty sure that is sending us safely through Q1 and on to Q2. So I'm not too worried here. Let's see. Yeah, that's well good. We're only just faster than Hamilton, but that is fine. That is perfectly fine. And there we go. We are safely through to the second part of qualifying. As for our teammate, unfortunately, once again, he does not make it through. So that's a bit of a shame. And really, the car should be good enough to actually get him all the way to Q3. So unfortunately, it probably says more about him than it says about the car. Because we are extracting the required lap times. So I don't really know what Ollie has got going. It doesn't seem like he has hit the ground running. And going into the next season, he's obviously going to have to find something special in order to not absolutely get trounced by Esteban Ocon. who's coming back into the sport.
Okay, engines fired up, we're set.
So it will be interesting to see what will happen. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I can tell you that it's going to be quite a blast. It's going to be exciting at the team we're going to. And I can also tell you it's not a front-running team, so that eliminates the likes of Ferrari, it eliminates Mercedes, McLaren and Red Bull. And that is all I'm gonna say. So no more talking about which team we are going to for the rest of the race. You'll just have to wait and see for when the new series begins.
We've dropped to P15.
And if you don't want to miss that, I would highly suggest that you maybe consider liking, subscribing and activating the notification bell. That way you won't miss anything. And that also goes for the upcoming series that we have coming here to the channel at some point, which I have to say I'm quite excited for. It's going to be something a little bit different than Formula 1 and racing in general. But I do think it's going to be quite a blast, also because it's something I really want to do. So that's why we're doing it. But here we go. Q2, well underway. We need to get a lap on the board. Shouldn't be a problem at all. And here we go. We begin our hopefully one and only lap into turn 1, taking a lot of curb there. That was quite nice. We can probably even brake later and not take as much curb. That won't hurt. Right on the edge of track limits. And now into the hairpin here. Hitting the apex quite nicely there. Now we have the first DRS zone. All the way down to 44% battery as we hit the chicane here. Taking a lot of entry curb there to open up the corner. Exit, oh, that didn't feel as good, but it's okay. We drained the battery all the way down to almost 20%. There we go. Into the fast left-hander here. Well on the power there. That felt really good.
Right, that's us pushed down into P15.
Kind of missing the apex there a little bit. The second part was really good. And here we go, 2 corners to go. And rounding the final corner, kind of missing the apex again. And up to the line. It is good enough for P2.
Understood, stopping this lap.
Which is by no means a bad lap. So we are, I would say, safely through to Q3 once again. The car's really developed quite nicely over the course of the season. Back when we initially got into the seat, it was difficult actually getting the car into Q3, and sometimes we did miss out. But it was good enough for some small points because we had some cracking race strategies. But in the last couple of races, it's been good enough for like top finishes here at the end of the season. So, I mean, if we were to continue on with Haas for another season, we would probably have a championship-worthy car. Not gonna lie. So that is a bit of a shame in that regard, but it is what it is. We have to move on as well. But into the pits.
And that's just 30 seconds left in the session.
And there we go. That should do it for Q2. A couple of drivers out on track trying to improve their lap times. And P2, I mean, it seems to be our new favorite spot for this career mode in terms of qualifying. We've qualified pretty high up the grid the last 2 races, and there we go, time has run out. We make it safely through in 2nd place, so no problems there. And getting knocked out, any big names? I mean, Antonelli continues the poor showing of form. Isaac Hadjar actually made it through to Q2, so quite surprising there. And we actually only have 1 Williams going through to Q3, so that means Albon dropped early. Okay, that's not going to be a good side for Williams. So it's a straight shootout between ourselves and Carlos Sainz here in Q3, trying to get the upper hand for the race start. So that's quite something. I didn't notice that Albon got knocked out early, but I expect that he did, or suspect that he did leave qualifying early. But here we go, we're running the clock all the way to the 3-minute mark, and then we are heading out.
Okay, guys.
One final time.
The car's ready to go.
In this car, in this series. This is the last qualifying lap you're ever going to see in a 2025 car on this channel. And we are just out behind George Russell. So we're one of the first ones to go out on track. I'm not quite sure if that is benefit or something. Russell lets us through, that's fine. But here we go, warming up the car, warming up the tires, prepping. Let's let Russell back through again, because he's clearly faster. Whoa, that was kind of close, actually. And let's see if we can put together a worthy lap. A lap that is worthy of anywhere high up the grid. That would be quite nice if we could do that. But you never know. We have to give it our all, I fear. Or fear. That's a weird way of saying it. I think we might have to give it our all in order to actually get somewhere. But that is how Formula 1 should be as well. So I'm not too fussed about that. But here we go, around the final corner. One final time here in qualifying. And starting our final qualifying lap here on F1 25 in the 25 cars. A good first corner there. Through sector 1, we're quite fast, that's lovely. Now we have the hairpin here, getting good drive, that felt nice. Now we use some of the ERS, drain the battery all the way down to around 40%. And now we just have the chicane here, that is the tricky one around here. Braking a little bit too early there maybe. But getting a good run through there. And now we're probably getting the slipstream from George Russell, which is quite nice. Into the fast left-hander. There's a bump right there. Could definitely feel it. Fastest middle sector. We're doing good so far. We're catching up to Russell come the end of the lap here. So we're definitely going faster than him. Whoa, that's a little bit loose there. Losing a little bit of the front end grip. Getting too close to Russell's Mercedes. But across the line, what's it going to be? It's going to be pole position or provisional pole position. Is it good enough to actually keep pole position though? That is the question. No, Norris, he goes in front of us. And there we are. Verstappen as well, we're down to 4th. Not sure, maybe Leclerc made it past us as well. Oh, what a shame.
Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
But there we go. We qualify P4 here in Abu Dhabi in our final qualifying session. That has to be something at least. That is quite good, I think. Now we're just going back to the pits. But we're getting hunted down by, I think that is Max and Charles behind us. But what a good qualifying. Again, second row of the grid. I'm not too displeased with that. I think that is quite nice. And questions are, do anyone here at the final race maybe have a penalty that we don't know of? That will be interesting to see. But a good qualifying. I'm happy with that. We out-qualified Sainz. That is all we needed. Oh, I missed the pit entry. Whoops. We're going to go across the line here. That's fine. And there we go. Fourth in our final qualifying for Haas. I'm happy with that.
With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
And Sainz all the way down in 8th. He was almost a second off pole position. We were about half a second off, so it wasn't even like, we weren't even close to pole position. But we did also lose a bunch of time behind George Russell in the final sector, so we definitely had more in the bank there. We just couldn't extract it. That's a bit of a shame. But it sets us up quite nicely for the final race of the season. It sets us up for potentially challenging for another podium, depending on how our race pace is. And what a sight that would be. As you can see here, race is set to be going from daylight into the evening, as you all know with the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. 29 laps is what lies ahead of us around the Yas Marina circuit. And let's just get into things. Let's start the final Grand Prix here today. And hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers for a good result here at Abu Dhabi. A track that has definitely grown on me as the years have gone by. That is for certain. But I think across the board, it's probably one of my lower rated circuits, I do have to say. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm bad around here, but it just means that I don't necessarily enjoy it.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains here in the United Arab Emirates on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
We have 16
corners here at Yas Marina Circuit, 7 to the right and 9 to the left. It's a total lap distance of 3.28 miles, 2 long straights and overtaking opportunities throughout the lap. And we expect average lap speeds of around 123 miles per hour.
So let's see how the grid stacks up.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting
that's what I
qualifying
said.
session.
All right, who's on pole?
Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Iceman, Sainz, Pierre Gasly, and Hulkenberg.
Okay.
Verstappen, Colapinto,
Wow.
Piastri, and Alex Albon. Stroll, Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, and Russell. Bortoletto, Alonso,
Holy
Sir
moly.
Lewis Hamilton, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Hadjar, And Ollie Bearman rounds off the grid.
Wow.
Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
That's like half of the grid with penalties. That's
Well, we
insane.
welcome you to the broadcast. It's going to be
Wow.
some race today. First of all, introductions. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this one, Anthony Davidson. Well, it's the last race of the season, but there's still plenty to prove out there. How important is getting the right mentality for this season closer?
Yeah, a lot of races to cover, but it's the same for the drivers. It comes at you thick and fast, and you've got to pace yourself as well to get to this point in the season. If it has gone your way, it's a great time to just enjoy it. There's nothing that can change in the championship pecking order, of course. If you've won the championship already, go out and enjoy this race and send yourself off through the winter break. If it's been a bit of a year to forget, you can try and take a bit of solace in this Grand Prix, end on a high, and carry that energy into next season.
Oh, yeah.
If you go away from this weekend having not given it everything, you're going to be devastated and disappointed for months. So let's get out there and give it a really strong finish and leave it all out on the track.
Oh, yeah, Mark. We certainly are. And what a shake-up on the grid. Lando Norris starting in P2 for this Grand Prix. He's currently leading the championship by 6 points. And Verstappen taking a engine penalty here for this final Grand Prix. He's going to be starting further down. He is not going to like that, if I know Max. And he is all the way down in 6th, I think it is. Or is it? No, it's actually 7th. Wow. So Max is going to be starting quite far down. He's hoping, I would imagine, to be cutting through the grid like a hot knife through butter here today. But that just means we have the company of Sainz and Gasly quite far up. You also saw there Hulkenberg starting all the way up in P6. That's unusually high for the Kick Sauber to be starting in those kinds of positions. But yeah, that is quite the turn in terms of not just the Drivers' Championship, but also for us in order to defend from Carlos Sainz and try and prevent Williams from overtaking us in the Constructors' Championship. Things got a little bit more difficult with Sainz now starting in 4th right behind us. Technically, if he gets a good launch, he could be launching in up the inside into turn 1. So we need to be careful of the Spaniard. Oh, my apologies. Had a hiccup there. We do need to be careful of the Spaniard. And at all costs, if there's any Grand Prix we want to avoid any damage at, it's this one. Because an extra stop here probably means we are not able to defend from Sainz. It's certainly going to be difficult. But hey, let's not try and be mopey beforehand. Let's go out there, as Mark said, and enjoy this final race here and give it our all. Because as he said, we're going to be feeling it if we haven't given it our all for months. So here we go, lining up on the grid for one final time this season.
Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts.
So let's see what we can do
that's the rest of the grid
from
forming up now.
third
Be
place.
patient and watch for those lights.
Here we go. The 5 red lights are on for one final time this season. And there we go. Lights out and away we go for the final time. Heading into turn 1, we are up the inside of Leclerc. He got a poor start. And Gasly seems to have gotten past the Williams of Sainz. So that is a huge benefit to us. But he is fast, the Frenchman. He looks to be challenging already. Whoa, as we almost lose the car there. That could have been a catastrophic start to the race had we dropped the car there. And Gasly slowly approaching. He seems to have the better straight line speed here at the start of the race. And we just need to be careful. Max has already advanced one position, likewise with Norris. At the moment, as it stands, Lando Norris would become world champion for the first time, much like in real life, in this season in real life. So Lando at the moment doing all he can do. And honestly, if he wins the Grand Prix, there's nothing Verstappen can do, because Max needs to outscore Lando by 6 points or more in order to snatch the championship away from the Briton. And at the moment, doesn't look very likely. Here we go. We survive lap 1 despite the scare in the hairpin. Now we just need to settle down and get a good rhythm going. That is the most important thing. And if we could stay within DRS of Charles Leclerc, massive benefit. Here we go. Leclerc, is he closing in on Norris? I think he might be. He is putting pressure on Lando. So things are by no means over before the checkered flag has fallen. Sainz has made it past Pierre Gasly again. Wonder if, yeah, Gasly strikes back and Verstappen gets in front of Sainz as well. That is a huge benefit to us. Oh, that's a little too tight there. And Gasly now in 4th. Verstappen up to 5th. That is good for our constructors' hopes. Oh, almost doing a Nicholas Latifi there, dropping it into that specific wall. And at the moment the car is behaving a little bit erratically, but it is fine. It is loaded up with fuel, so I do need to remember that. It's not qualifying anymore. It's not going to be as nimble as the car is in qualifying. And at the moment we're still keeping up with the front 2. So it's all going to plan at the moment. And meanwhile, Gasly has dropped off the back of us. Verstappen makes it past the Frenchman and he is now up into 4th place. And we are the next driver on his list, on his target. So I would imagine that the Dutchman is going to be rapidly approaching. I couldn't imagine anything else when it's Max Verstappen we're dealing with. But honestly, I mean, I would be okay with... Oh, I was almost going to say I would be okay with giving up a position for Verstappen, but Gasly has taken things into his own hand and has re-overtaken his once former teammate of 12 Grand Prix back in, let's see if I remember this, 2020 I think it was. So Gasly not letting Verstappen get away that easily. And meanwhile we are keeping the pressure on Charles Leclerc. This is quite nice. I think he might be outside the DRS range of Lando Norris in front, which is really nice. We can start putting the pressure on the Ferrari driver. Yeah, he doesn't have the DRS. So he has dropped off the back of Lando, and we are now putting the pressure on. Let's see if we can get past him here. We seem to have the overspeed. We're going to go to the inside here, and that is as clean as you like them. Cleanest move you're probably going to see this season. And let's see if we can hunt down Lando. I mean, why not? Let's give it our all, as Mark said. Leave everything on the table. This is our final race for Haas. Let's give them a good send-off. Not that we're not doing that right now. We are currently in a podium position, which is more than I would have hoped for at the start of the season. But this is going nicely. This is going nicely. Verstappen has gotten back past Pierre Gasly, and he's now honing in on Leclerc. So maybe Max might not be fully out of this race just yet. You never know.
Tyre condition still looking good.
Thank you for that information. Do actually appreciate that. Lando has some good pace here.
Okay, mate. Leclerc is behind you.
Ooh.
We want to keep them behind, please. It's critical for our race.
Yeah, but is it possible to keep him behind, though? Is the question. That is the question. Don't think we have the capacity to keep the Monegasque behind us. Nope, there he goes.
Okay, unlucky, mate. It was a good try, but we didn't quite meet our targets. Not to worry. Get your head down and chin up, and let's focus right the way into the checkered flag.
He seems to just have been saving up to try and get past us again. So, not really anything we could do there. We didn't have anything to fight with. But, oh, look at that. He is sliding around, so things are also tightening up for Leclerc here, or getting spicy. Meanwhile, Gasly and Hulkenberg fighting for P5. That's not something you would have thought, maybe, at this point in the season. But I mean, in real life, in this season, Hulkenberg did get a podium. So, there is that. Let's see if we can close in on Charles here. We do have the DRS, but he is rapid. He is going quite fast at the moment. Is he? So, we might not have what it takes to challenge for P2. We're still hanging with him though, so that is at least something. Closing up to him big time there. Have to be a little bit careful heading into the final sector here, because it is quite twisty. And there is the risk we could run into the back of him here. He's holding us up right now. Max is closing in rapidly now.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Thank you, Mark. That is good to know. Tires do feel good still, so I'm not too worried about them. Not for this race at least. And Leclerc seems to have the upper hand here through the hairpin. Verstappen is rapidly approaching. He's almost within a second now. So I suspect that he might get DRS next time around, as we brake a little too late there into the chicane. That was unintentionally very bad. And Verstappen is now very close to being within the second. So we might have to start looking backwards instead of forwards. But in saying that, we are coming into the pits soon. So 2 laps to go before we hit the pits. I'm going to try and save a little bit of ERS here through the final sector. That is the right place to do it. Oh my days. We almost spun. Car's getting loose now. Tires are also getting pretty worn. So it is to be expected, especially the right rear is suffering right now. So I'm going to be a little bit cautious. As Leclerc is pulling a bit of a gap. Is he... I think he might have dropped us just in time there for the detection. And that is going to make it infinitely more difficult to defend from Max Verstappen, who's going to drive past us here. Here we go. There goes Max. And he is now into P3. Still not good enough.
Come on, you can win that place back.
To become world champion. But with that being said, he looks fast. That's all I'm gonna say. He looks mighty fast. Like, fast enough to even catch Lando. But I still think even if Max were to win and Lando finished second, I still think Norris would finish 1 point ahead of Verstappen in the standings. So I don't think that is enough. He needs Norris to drop one more spot. But we'll let them work that out. But we're boxing at the end of this lap, as Mark said. Tyres are done.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
And let's just do pit confirm there. Here we go. We've already lost the DRS to Verstappen and Leclerc again. That's a bit of a shame. But there's no threat from behind. Gasly spearheading Hulkenberg, and then I think it is Sainz behind them. So all is good. There goes Verstappen past Charles Leclerc. He is on a tear through this Grand Prix. He is on a mission to try and win this championship. Very admirable the way he's driving at the moment. Leclerc's going to go back at him here. And reset the order to what it was before the first straight.
Box, box, box.
Confirm. Let's see who else is boxing at the end. Whoa! Hopefully we don't hit a wall. We didn't. Whoa! Don't get stuck on the curb. That was a bit clumsy from my side. There's a bunch of drivers heading into the pits here. There we go. No problems. Whoopsie daisy. A little too eager on the curbs there. That's my bad. Let's just forget about that.
Okay, go, go,
there we go.
That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting.
And we lost 2 positions
right, we'll be doing
to
one more stop today.
Gasly and Hulkenberg with that little trick there. That's a cool party trick. I wouldn't recommend it though. Especially not under race conditions. Oh, we are running very wide here. That's not very nice. The pits here are a little bit tricky compared to other circuits, so I got caught out a little bit.
This is our true position. We're on the same strategy. They've pitted as well as us, so warm up your tyres and make the most of this stint.
I'm very much aware, Mark. I'm aware. I am going to start trying to hunt down Hulkenberg and Gasly and see if we can close them in, potentially. We have... who is this? This is Stroll going for a move. Don't know what he thinks he's doing. He's trying to keep it in there, to be fair. Fair play to him. He did go for it. We need some ERS here. As Ollie is into the pits.
Right, Ollie's coming in for his stop.
That's fine. Alright. Let's see if we can close these guys down. We're going to gain a bunch of positions here. As the others pit. Poor run there through turn 1. Not really ideal. We're up to 13th. Still a couple of drivers who are yet to pit. But that was a silly mistake from me. We're going to let Stroll go past here. And then we're going to get the DRS on the second straight. And we should be able to pull past him again. So no problems. Just because he gets in front of us. Here we go.
The car behind you's just come in for the hard tyres. Car behind running hard tyres.
That's fine. We get a slingshot here on with Lance Stroll. Thank you very much, Lance. That was very much appreciated. Let's see if we can close in on Hulkenberg.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Just pitted, of course there's no tyre concerns. And yeah, we are visibly closing up on Hulkenberg here. Fastest final sector of the Grand Prix. That's a nice little stat to have. Surely some others are starting to pit soon. Surely there's more drivers pitting. This cannot be it. We still have plenty of laps to go, but that little mistake ended up costing a little bit more than I initially thought. That sucks. I'm gonna use up a little bit of energy here. It's very difficult to close up when you don't have the DRS around Yas Marina. But we just need to push as much as possible. Oh, we are encountering some slower cars now, who probably haven't pitted yet. That is a very slow moving Ferrari, if I do say so. And that certainly is very slow moving. What on earth is going on here? That is Lewis Hamilton holding up the lot here. He is really slow for some reason. Wow. That is quite the surprise.
Okay, mate. Hulkenberg ahead. Come on,
All
mate.
right.
This is it. Let's try and get past them quickly.
Let's see what we can do here. This is going to be chaotic heading into the chicane. So, oh my days, what are they doing? I'm going to sneak up the inside here and go past Nico. Oh, he's tagged us. It's probably my bad as well. We got hooked there, but we make it past. No problem. Well, small problem, but now we have Lewis Hamilton up next. Underneath him here. There we go. Cool. Up next, Antonelli for the points. Oh, he's slow. He is mighty slow. Gonna get past him in a very unconventional place.
Oh, mate, you made that look easy. Nice work. That's why I love working with you.
But we
Smashed
need to
it.
be very crucial and very ruthless in our driving here to make up for the mistake that we had. And now Leclerc exiting the pits. He must have lost a lot of time there pitting this late, because he is almost behind us again. And we were much further ahead, or much further behind, rather. But I don't see Carlos Sainz, which is a good sign. You love to see it. Let's see if we can get past Pierre here. If he is slow enough that we can actually get a run on him. Oh, it's going to be iffy. We're going to send one to the inside. There we go. Ruthless driving once again. And now, let's see if we can pull away from the Alpine.
The car ahead of you's just fitted the hard tyres. Car ahead now on the hard compound.
That's fine. Tsunoda into the pits along with
Okay, so we're
Carlos
leading our
Sainz.
teammate by 13.5 seconds.
And Sainz is well down the order, which is what you love to see. And we're back up into 4th. So we're back to where we made the mistake. Or when we made the mistake. Which really annoys me, because that probably meant we could have leapfrogged Charles Leclerc in the pit stops had we not made that mistake. But it is what it is. It is what it is. P4 is by no means a bad result. And I do wonder how they are figuring things out in front. Verstappen is still second behind Lando Norris. By quite some distance at the moment.
Okay, gap ahead, 2.9 seconds.
So it seems like at the moment Lando Norris is going to win his first World Championship, much like in real life. Which, I mean, it's a good storyline. He had to fight back in this championship. He definitely did. And it's a cool storyline, I think. Now the question is, what's something I want? No, we don't have any new mediums. That's fine. Alright, so we're boxing onto a set of hards to finish the season off in. And we're pulling away from Gasly. That is lovely jubbly. We're not really closing in on Leclerc, but that's fine for now. I don't think a podium is quite possible here, unfortunately. But we'll take 4th place, as I said. By no means a bad result. And in a Haas, that is going to do us very nicely. But we're boxing in 3 laps time-ish. Oh, that's cutting it a little too tight there. Oh, the bollard is stuck under the car. That felt really not nice. But we survive. And Lance Stroll. Oh, Lando Norris posts the fastest lap, so he's putting the hammer down now.
Norris has just put in the fastest lap of the race so far.
Thank you very much, Mark. And Aston Martin
We're approaching the pit
having a good
now,
race
and
as
you're going to be
well.
on hards next time.
Both drivers in the top 10 right now, it seems. Stroll in 6th. I think Alonso is in 7th. And I mean, if it means they're taking points away from Sainz,
Okay, gap to the car in front.
then it's fine.
3.8 seconds.
But we have good pace. Oh, actually, the 2 Williams are the last 2 points-paying positions. Alright, that's pretty decent. Or at least that's what it seemed like on the minimap. But yeah, 2 laps time before we box. 1 final time this season. And the car has just felt really good here today. So I'm absolutely not complaining. And the team have put together a really good car for the last couple of races. Norris is really going at it right now. Proving why he is most likely going to win his first championship. Really proving some points here. Meanwhile, for us, it's just about keeping it consistent at the moment, which we are.
The car behind started to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it.
Beautiful. That's what you want to hear. We slightly missed the apex there. That's fine. No problems. And it's really warm here in my room now, so I am fearing the last 10 laps of this Grand Prix could be really a sweat fest. But it is what it is. Whew. And we're boxing not this lap, but the next lap. And the Williams are making progress. I can see they have made it past Hulkenberg. So they are now climbing up the top 10. Hopefully the two Aston Martins can work together and keep them behind.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Perfect. Yeah, but the tyres are starting to give away.
Push now, we're boxing this lap.
Confirm. Oh, and Gasly behind us, boxing already.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
He's trying to undercut us. I like it. Honestly, I like it. And so is Stroll.
Okay, gap to the car ahead, 5.2 seconds.
But they're going to have some really strong pace going out of the pits on their outlaps if they are to undercut us, because it does feel like we have some good pace. And at the moment, we're not... I mean, I am kind of pushing. But not really. I'm still driving at like 95%.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed.
And Sainz makes it past Fernando Alonso. Again, the Williams is coming into its own here, it seems. But we are heading into the pits, so we don't worry about that for now. We just box for the final time this season. Sainz and Alonso go for another... No, Alonso comes into the pits, I think. Yeah, he does.
Okay, let's go now.
Good stop there
Perfect
from the
job from
boys.
you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
They have been amazing this season with the pit stops, so nothing to blame them on. And we come out behind our teammate Ollie, currently in P9, so he's right on the brink of points, actually.
Okay, mate, we need to save up some ERS, so let's focus on charging it up, please.
That's fine, we can do that. Tsunoda in P8, but I do suspect that they might be boxing again. They went on to a set of mediums after a set of mediums, so they do have to box again, but they could be going on to a set of softs and going to the end, so they're going to be quite fast come the end of the Grand Prix, if that is the case. But that probably also means we're not going to see them box for another maybe 1 or 2 laps. But it's difficult to say. Oh, a little bit of understeer there. Heading through that technical bit there as Ollie comes into the pits. Oh, we missed the apex there of the final corner.
Ollie's in the pits. Ollie in the pits now.
So he gets out of our way. No problems there whatsoever. We're up to P9 now. But a race of different strategies. You don't see those very often. But it's nice to finally have some variety from the AI. That is quite nice, actually. I'm not complaining. And do we have a mechanical issue? Doesn't seem like it. Okay. There's just a mechanical symbol. Probably doesn't mean anything. And Antonelli and Tsunoda in front of us. They are battling, it seems. Oh, it's Piastri actually battling with Yuki. So Yuki having a good race.
Here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 5.0 seconds.
And we're also trying to keep Yuki behind us in the Drivers' Championship, so we also have a straight battle between us two that we need to take care of course. But we can almost see them now as they're battling. They're holding each other up big time. And we've almost caught them. Fastest final sector. That's quite nice.
Gap to your teammate behind, 18.8 seconds.
Okay. I have no idea where Ollie filtered out, but it will be interesting to see what he can do. And at the moment we have good pace. We're catching up to Russell, we're catching up to Piastri and Tsunoda. And simply because of the fact that they are battling like crazy at the moment, we're catching them pretty quickly as well. So this is really good. We can now physically see all three of them. And in front of them you have both Williams drivers. And they are our main target here today. But surely they will be boxing again. Surely. Like, I cannot imagine a scenario where they are not boxing. Like, technically Russell and Tsunoda could go to the end, because they have taken two different tires. But there's surely some drivers who took two mediums.
We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
Now we need to dispatch of these three absolute warriors here. They are trying to duke it out between themselves. We need to do it in a fashion where we don't get any damage, ideally. Russell is vulnerable, so we're going to get him early here on the straight. Got a bit of a wobble going out of the hairpin, and that's going to help us clear him beautifully and nicely. Up next, Yuki Tsunoda. And he is also vulnerable, so here we go. We're going to sling it to the inside this time. Try and go past the Japanese driver. Whoa! Okay. I do not know what that was. I felt like I left him room.
You made it look so easy.
That was insane. That was some... I don't even know what to say to that. That was insane. And now just Piastri. I'm a little bit shook from that. That was quite something. We're going to get Piastri here heading into turn one. Bit unconventional place to overtake. But I cannot be bothered with sticking around. We're just going to have to use the ERS down the DRS straights here. It is what it is. I am, like, physically shook. I'm shaken from that contact with Yuki Tsunoda. That was insane. I don't know why he did that. Whew. Bit of a twist going out there. Here we go. We should have them covered off. Yeah, Oscar's not going to have the necessary overspeed. And we can drive past them. Up next, Alex Albon in P5. Ideally, I would like to get both of the Williams, because we're only one Haas in the points at the moment, I think. And they are going to be outscoring us big time. So we have a target to look forward to. And they are not boxing, it seems.
Okay, unlucky, mate. That wasn't quite what we needed, but let's not worry about it. Get your head down and chin up. There's a long way to go.
I was not paying attention to that target at all. I was trying to drive the best I can.
You're pulling out a second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff.
Thank you, Mark. And we're catching up to Albon as well, now that we have cleared the Three Musketeers. So this is good stuff. Albon is probably going to be a real beast on his defense, trying to defend us from catching Carlos. But we cannot linger. We need to be ruthless. We need to be bold. And regardless of what happens, we just need to go for it.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
That is good to hear. We're starting lap 26 of 29. We're catching Albon by a second a lap-ish. His tyres are not going to get any better as the race goes on. Likewise with ours. But we have much newer tyres. So we should have the upper hand here in this battle. We're almost within a second now. I don't think we're going to be able to catch Sainz. But as much damage as we can do to Albon's point scoring opportunities here is all we need to do. Now, am I going to do a Nico Rosberg? No. I'm not going to slow down and try and back him up into the other drivers. That would be quite unfair.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 1.9 seconds.
What do you think I'm working at, Mark? I'm going as fast as possible. Yeah, Sainz is too far ahead. He needs to get a puncture or something if we are to have a shot at him. Alex, however, much more doable. We're right with him. We're probably going to be within the second now, coming onto the straights this time around. And that should mean we have DRS on him. Going to use a little bit of DRS here. We're going to miss out on this first straight here. That's going to suck. So we're going to have to use some more ERS to try and close up to him. Or stay with him, rather. He's pushing, you can see it, you can see it. But we are faster, inevitably. Pushing a little too much there, maybe. There we go, we have the DRS now on Alex Albon. We're probably only going to get him next lap. Going to save up some ERS here. Through the final sector. Try and line him up. Going on to the next lap. Oh, he's slow. He's so slow. He's driving for his life here. It's not quite enough, unfortunately. And here we go. We have him lined up. We have plenty of ERS to play with. So we should have a clear shot at him.
Leading our teammate by 20.9 seconds.
And here we go. We're going to have DRS this time around. I'm not going to go crazy trying to get past him on the first straight, because there is obviously the second straight. So here we go. Let's see, what do you have in the tank, Alex? And he is... he's vulnerable, that is for sure. Oh, we're pushing him through the chicane here. Now we go. Absolutely all guns blazing. Trying to attack him here. Which way is he going to dive? He goes for the inside. He didn't really decide, so we had to decide for him. And that's a ballsy move.
Nice move. Good job.
And we are up into P5. 10 points. And I think with the finishing order ending up like this, it's going to be just enough to keep Williams from getting 5th in the Constructors. So I think we might have done our job here.
Okay, mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home.
Final lap of the season. We've driven the wheels off this car in today's Grand Prix. It's been really good. We've had good pace. Ultimately, we were on the wrong strategy. A two-stopper really wasn't the ideal strategy, but with our tyre wear, unfortunately, that is sometimes the price you have to pay. But with that being said, knock on wood, obviously, because I'm not quite sure. I didn't do the math beforehand, but I think with us scoring 10 points, Sainz getting 12 and Albon getting 8, that means they're only getting 10 points more. I think they were 10 points clear of, more than 10 points behind us. Lando Norris wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and thus crowns himself world champion of this 2025 Formula One season. As for us, we are going to come home in a much deserved, if we don't crash, P5 to end this series, to end this season. And what a season it has been for us. There we go. That is all she wrote. And thank you, Ayo Komatsu, just came over the radio there saying it's been amazing to work with you. And I fully agree. But here we go. Let's see.
The celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple.
And
there's no catching
Lando Norris,
we have a new World Drivers' Champion.
Is the world champion
Lando
of
Norris has done
2025.
Lando Norris takes the checkered flag.
Good on him.
And of course, what 3 race victories, a hat-trick of wins, does for a driver's confidence is huge going forward in the championship. You know, they've got the energy on their side now, and it's for the others to try and stop this progression of victories.
And true, he's 3 back-to-back.
And the top 3
Insane.
venturing onto the podium to begin the celebrations. And Lando Norris celebrates the win in style.
And yeah, 3 victories in a row. That is what makes Lando Norris the champion of this season. He had a cracking end to the season. I for sure thought Verstappen had this championship locked up. But turns out that Lando Norris had 2 things to say about that. And he has pretty much done the unthinkable in my mind. I did not think going into Austin that Norris was going to be anywhere close to a championship, but here we are.
Well, what a championship it has been. Young talent shining through once again. I've been Alex Jakes. My thanks to Alex Brundle and the whole team. We'll see you next year when Formula 2 returns.
Formula 2. All right, I think the commentators need a break. We finished 5th, Alex Albon P6, Carlos Sainz P4, Yuki Tsunoda all the way down in 8th. That does mean we get 7th place in the driver's standings. Question is, do we keep 5th place in the Constructors' Championship? I think we do. But again, I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to be, haha, we did it, before I actually have it confirmed on my screen. So let's take a quick peek and see how the season ended for us. The ultimate goal was 5th in the Constructors. And if that is what we get, I'm going to be super happy. And let's see here. Yes, we keep P5 in the Constructors' Championship. And we finished 100 points behind Mercedes, so a very solid end to the year. As for ourselves, we finished P7 on 193 points, so just 7 points shy of actually making it into the 200 points club. And as you saw on your screens, Lando Norris crowned world champion here in this season. And here we go. So, contract event. So this is if we were to continue, obviously. And we have a few offers for Ferrari. We have an offer from Mercedes. Okay, interesting. Williams, obviously, they're probably really... I think the right phrase is butthurt over the fact that we beat them in the championship. And then, obviously, we have the team we drove for all the way through. I'm just going to pick this one. Because again, we're not going to do anything with this. This is just formalities to end off the season so we can get all of the, season finale stuff. And, let's just do that. I think that's fine. There we go. I think that's all that is necessary. It doesn't mean we're staying with Haas for the upcoming 26 season. But here we go. I don't remember if there is a graphic for the end of the season. I'm not quite sure. And we finish all of our targets. Let's just quickly see if there's an end of season graphic. Or what happens. Here we go. And does it just transition into the next season? The recognition, we did really good up against our teammate. That was really nice. And statistics, we could take a quick look at that. We got 1 victory throughout the season. We got 3 pole positions. Oh, I don't even remember finishing on pole position that many times. But there we go. 193 points, as we previously mentioned. We finished 7th in the championship. We earned 2 accolades, whatever that is, and recognition and driver rating went up pretty nicely, so I'm quite pleased with that. So that is the stats for the season, and there we go. That does it for the F1 25 single-player driver career mode. And yeah, it does transition straight into the next season. We're just going to click advance. There's nothing there. Let's just confirm settings. Sure, whatever. Again, we're not going to be playing this career mode anymore. This is done and dusted. But yeah, there we go. Let's just have a quick peek and see if there was any driver moves that happened. Because that could be quite fun. I'm not sure if there's any driver moves, but let's just have a quick look. Just for funsies. So the standings, let's have a look. Doesn't seem like there's any new names. Oh, Paul Aaron actually made it onto the grid. He replaced Liam Lawson. Alright. That's quite... Hey, wait. Yuki Tsunoda went to... Wait, where's Max Verstappen? Oh my goodness, did Max Verstappen retire? No, he's at... Oh my goodness, he's at Ferrari. No way. So Yuki Tsunoda is at Red Bull. Esteban Ocon went to Red Bull to replace Max Verstappen. Who did Max replace? Oh my goodness, he probably replaced Hamilton, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Hamilton retired. No way. Here we go. We could just have looked at this. Hamilton is no longer driving, so Verstappen to Ferrari. I'm going to say pretty confidently that's never going to happen. And replacing Verstappen at Red Bull was Esteban Ocon. And then to replace Liam Lawson at Visa Cash App Racing Bulls is Paul Aaron. All right. There we go. So if we had to continue this series right here, that is how it would have gone. But yeah, there we go. That is that's how it went. that was pretty decent, I think. 24 races and 24 wildly different experiences, I do have to say. And here we can see all of the stats for our season. We had 3 pole positions, which again, I don't remember starting from pole on 3 separate occasions. 193 points, 1 race victory, which we took in Monaco. And yeah, 6 podium finishes in total. 1 victory, 2 second places, and 3 third place finishes. Our average finishing position was 8th, and similarly, our average qualifying grid position was 8th. So that is quite nice. We drove 7,163 kilometers, and we've driven 1,055 laps in total. And we have 2 fastest laps. So there we go. That is the end to our season, the end to this career mode. And I do have to say, it's been a blast. It's been an absolutely enjoyable experience to do a full F1 25 single player career mode. And as I've said several times, we're going to be back strong in a couple of days, probably even next week. I'm not going to promise anything, but maybe, I'm crossing my fingers, maybe for next week we can be back with the beginning of our F1 26 driver career mode. And do stay tuned for that, because again, I'm not going to spoil who I'm going to be driving for. You're all going to have to wait and see for the first episode. Apologies. But yeah, you're going to have to wait for the first episode to see who we are driving for. I can say, as I said, it's not going to be a front runner. It is going to be someone a little bit further down the grid. A team that we can build up and maybe make them championship worthy in the future. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I can also say we're not going to be driving for Haas. That much is clear. So not a front runner and not Haas. That is all you're going to get. But do make sure to tune in whenever we go live again here on the channel. As I said, I can't promise anything. I can't promise a specific date or a specific time frame at the moment, unfortunately. It's simply down to the fact that I am moving places at the moment. So that has to be fixed first and foremost. But as soon as everything has fallen into place with that, I am hoping to be back very, very soon. So do make sure, in order to not miss the next live stream, make sure you are subscribed and make sure notifications are enabled. And if you liked today's content, whether you watched it live or in post, can I suggest that if you enjoyed it, maybe give it a like. It really shows the appreciation. And to show my appreciation for you guys, I'm just going to say thank you for all of the support over these 24 episodes after coming back to live streaming once again. As I said, the support has definitely been felt, and I can't express how much I appreciate it. So I am looking forward to continuing bringing the best kind of content here on the channel. And as I said, in the future, it's not just going to be racing, it's going to be other games as well. And do also keep an eye out for maybe some video uploads, because that could also maybe happen in the future. I'm not promising anything, but yeah, I do love all of the support that has been expressed throughout the 24 episodes we have done so far. And we are now fully back into stream mode. And I look forward to get going properly once again. But yeah, that is the end of it all for now. I want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching, regardless of whether you've been watching live or post. It's, as I said, felt. Regardless, the support is felt. And I appreciate all of you guys who are watching, taking your time out of your schedules to sit down and just have a quick watch. And for those who tune in on the live stream while we are live, thank you for tuning in and taking your time as well to watch some content, and for occasionally also typing in the live chat. I do appreciate that as well. And I don't think there's much more to say than thank you for watching. Until we see each other again, I wish you all a blessed day. And for one final time for the F1 25 single player career mode, I just want to say goodbye.